The Hawkers and Peddlers Act. We have the arrangement of sections. October 1867. Section 1, short title. This act may be cited as the Hawkers and Peddlers Act. Section 2, no hawker and peddler to sell goods without license. It shall not be lawful for any hawker, peddler, or other person to go from place to place or from house to house to sell any goods, wares, or merchandise, or other articles of traffic, except such as hereinafter excepted, unless such hawker, peddler, or other person shall have a license as required by this act. You need to have a license to walk around, to sell items, or whether to walk or ride or drive. Alright. Section 3, license. Subsection 1. Except as otherwise provided in Section 8, no person shall carry about for sale in any parish or goods unless he is the holder either of a Class A or Class B license under this Act in respect of the parish in which he carries about such goods for sale. Subsection 2. No person who is the holder of a Class A license under this Act shall carry about for sale in the parish to which such Class A relates any goods to a total value in excess of $10 at any one time. So you must have a license to carry goods for sale. If that you're not allowed to sell any goods that value in excess of $10 without a license. Alright. Section 4, grant of licenses. Subsection 1. Every license under this Act shall be granted by the collector of taxes for the parish to which such license relate upon A. The payment by the applicant of the appropriate duty in respect of the license applied for, and B. The production by the applicant of a certificate from the superintendent in charge of police for the parish in which he is ordinarily resident that he is fit and proper person to be licensed under this Act, provided that any such person applies for a license under this Act within 10 days of the expiration of the license previously granted to him under this Act. Such person shall not be required to produce any certificate from the superintendent of police. Subsection 2. Every license granted under this Act shall expire on the 31st day of December of the year in which it is granted. Okay. So if you are granted the license on the 1st of December, it still expires on the 31st of December. Right? Schedule. Every license under this Act shall, in the case of a Class A license, be in the form set out as Form 1 in the said schedule, and in the case of Class B license, be in the form of set out as Form 2 in the schedule. Subsection 4. The appropriate duty upon every Class A license shall be $2, and the appropriate duty upon every Class B license shall be $10. So you must pay $2 every year for a Class A license and $10 every year for a Class B license. Duration of license. A Hawkers and Peddlers license issued under this Act in either of the parishes of Kingston or St. Andrew shall be in full force and effect in both of the said parishes, and it shall not be necessary to obtain a separate license for each such parish. Section 6. Collector to keep register. The collector of taxes shall keep a register in which all licenses granted, and the names of the persons obtaining them shall be inserted, and the said register shall be exhibited in the office of the collector of taxes. Subsection 2. The collector shall once in every quarter of a year forward a copy of the register signed and certified as a correct copy to the superintendent of police of his parish, which copy shall be kept in a conspicuous part of the police station for the use and guidance of the constabulary force. Subsection 3. The register kept under this section shall show in relation to each license whether it is a Class A license or a Class B license. Section 7. Penalty on trading without a license. Subsection 1. Every hawker, peddler, or other person who shall go from place to place or from house to house for the purpose of selling, or who shall expose for sale any goods, wares, merchants, or other articles of traffic, except such as are herein exempted, not having a license for the parish in which he shall so trade as aforesaid, shall upon summary conviction in the parish wherein the offence shall occur, forfeit and pay a sum not exceeding $1,000. Okay, that was seemed to have been amended in 1995. Section 2. Subsection 2. If any person holding any license under this Act shall be convicted of any offence involving dishonesty or of any breach of the provisions of the Agricultural Produce Act, it shall be lawful for the court before whom he shall be convicted to require him to deliver up his license and to cancel the same. Any person whose license shall be cancelled under the provisions of this section shall thereupon at once cease to be licensed under this Act to all intents and purposes. Section 8. Articles which may be sold without license. Noting in this Act contained shall extend to prohibit any person from selling any bread, fresh fish, milk, fruit, vegetables, ground provisions, vegetable roots, or other vegetables commonly known by name of bread kind, or to limit the real worker or workers making or makers of any goods, wares, or manufacturers of this island, including any pickled, salted, preserved, or smoked victual, actually and bona fide manufactured in this island, or his or their children, or known agents or servants usually residing with them, from carrying about or exposing for sale and selling by retail or otherwise any of the said goods, wares, or merchandise of his or her or their own making. Section 9. Constable may seize hawker or peddler selling without license or refusing to produce license. Now, by the way, this will generally apply to market vendors. Any constable or peace officer may seize and detain any hawker, peddler, or other persons found traveling from place to place or house to house and trading without a license contrary to the provisions of this act, or who, being so found, shall refuse or neglect on demand to produce his license, and such constable or peace officer shall take such person so seized before a justice, and such justice shall, on the confession of the party or upon due proof on oath made of the offense, convict such offender and impose a penalty not exceeding $500. And if the penalty imposed is not immediately paid, the justice shall by warrant under his hand commit the offender to any prison with or without hard labor for the space of 30 days, unless the penalty shall be sooner paid. Alright. So even though this talks about going from house to house, place to place, some vendors actually sell on the street side, and this might apply to them, but it applies to those who are going about whether walking or driving or riding and displaying goods. Anyway, this $500, that's what's written in the law, so no judge can fine you more than $500 if you're guilty of this offense. Anyway, you continue. Section 10. Goods offered or exposed for sale liable to be sold to meet penalty. Under a warrant or distress for the recovery of any penalty under any person convicted under this act, the goods, wares, and merchandise or other articles of traffic offered or exposed for sale by such offender may be distrained on and sold for or towards payment of such penalty. Section 11. Penalty for producing forged license. Any person producing or showing any forged or counterfeit license for the purpose of evading this act shall, on summary conviction of such offense, forfeit a sum not exceeding $1,000, and in default of immediate payment of such penalty shall be imprisoned for any period not exceeding 90 days, with or without hard labor, as to the justice shall seem meet. As to the justices shall seem meet. This is the 30th. This is 1995. So it's $1,000 or 3 months, which is 90 days. You choose. Section 12. Penalty on illegal dealing with license. In the case of any person, in case any person shall lend or hire any license granted under this act, or shall trade with or under color of any license which has been granted to him, every person so offending shall, for every such offense, forfeit and pay a sum not exceeding $1,000. This is in the case of any person who shall lend or hire any license granted under this act. Oh, I guess lending your friend your license is illegal. Section 13. How penalty is recovered. Except where otherwise provided, all penalties and forfeitures under this act shall be recovered in a summary manner. That means immediately in the parish where the offense was committed, and in default of payment, the party shall be liable to imprisonment with or without hard labor for a period not exceeding 30 days. Schedule Class A license. This is to certify that A.B of your address has been this day duly licensed as a fit and proper person to hawk and peddle in the parish of your parish any goods to a total value not exceeding $10 at any one time from the date hereof until the 31st of December, given under my hand this, whatever it is, day of January, February, March to December 19. Well, it says 19. Now, Form 2, Class B license. This is to certify that A.B of the address has been this day duly licensed as a fit and proper person to hawk and peddle in the parish of your parish any goods from the date hereof until the 31st of December, given under my hand this, so it's December and the year, this, whatever it is, first, second, third, day of January, February, March, whichever month, 19. Alright, so here, this was the Hawkers and Peddlers Act.